Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I had to pop a Benny this morning, so this is necessary. By Benny, I mean Benadryl. It's a gloomy, rainy day today, which it has been like pretty much every day for like the last 2 weeks. Rainy season in Florida, like we have like rain in spring, but rainy season is like August through like November, because that's hurricane season. But it's literally been raining like that much recently, and it's making me upset. So I'm hoping that doesn't just like continue all the way through August through November. You know what I'm saying? But I figured what better time to talk to you guys about my quarter 2 2026 reads. I feel like I was literally just filming my Q1 reading wrap up. I don't know how we're over halfway through the year. What's even scarier than that is I'm about to turn 27. 27. That's damn nearly 30. That's crazy. I feel like I'm 22. Anyways, we had a great reading quarter 1, but I think quarter 2 has gotten even better. I will say my top 2 books still are Half City and Daggermouth, and we read both of those in quarter 1. But I've really been branching out recently, and I'm having a good time. In my Q1 reading wrap up video, I told you guys that I was getting a little bit into dark romance. That has continued. I've been reading mostly dark romance all of the last 3 months. I also read my very first sports romance, and I bought 2 or 3. I have the first book in 3 contemporary romance series that I'm planning on starting. So I'm really branching out, and it's going a lot better than I thought it would. I thought I would really miss fantasy, but I'm still loving fantasy. But I think dark romance is my favorite still right now. So we're gonna go through each book that I read in April, May, and June, talk about what I rated them, what I thought about them, and then at the end maybe we'll go over some of the books that I'm excited to read next. I think I definitely read a little bit less than I did in Q1. The last few months have just been a lot busier for me. As you guys know, I've been traveling and I just moved. So I do feel like a little bit behind, but in terms of our yearly reading goal, which is 50 books, I'm on my 29th book. So we are over halfway there. I read 30 books last year. I honestly think I'll be able to get more than 50. Maybe I'll be able to get like 55 or 60. But we've completed 28 already, so we're doing well. I'm gonna go on my Bookmary. A lot of people ask what I use to track my reading. For day to day, it's Bookmary, and I also use Fable to do like my reviews and stuff. But on here, I like to just do my daily reading, and then like I like the monthly calendar. You can go back and look. So the first book I technically finished in April was Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue, but I talked about that in my Q1 reading wrap up because it was like April 2nd that I finished it, and that was before I filmed the actual video. And that was my first dark romance book. After that, I was like, wait, I like this, so let me just jump in head first and read the Edge of Darkness trilogy. When I think about dark romance, this is just the series that I think of. I've heard so much about it. It's the Edge of Darkness trilogy by Lee Rivers. We have Insatiable, Voracious, and then Restitution. I'm just gonna start out by saying this is my favorite dark romance I've read ever, and that may not sound like it means anything, but after this, I continued to read for the last 3 months so much dark romance, and this still remains on top. I definitely still was like getting used to the themes of dark romance, like probably through the first book. I feel like if I reread this, I would like it even more because I'm no longer like getting over that like shock factor. I'm not really one to reread books, but this is something I actually could see myself rereading, and I think I would rate them all 5 stars honestly if I reread them. But going off the ratings I gave them immediately after finishing the first book, Insatiable, I rated 4 stars. Voracious, I read 4.5, and Restitution, I rated 5 stars. To me, these books just kept getting better and better, and along with that, they just kept getting more and more sad. I don't think I've ever felt more pain for characters than I have for these characters. I honestly miss them. I love Kate and Stacy so much. Also like the secondary characters like Base, I love. Tobias, I love. Oh, and I actually really miss them. Maybe I should reread this. If you've never read any dark romance, I don't know if this is the best one to start out with. Like I said, I feel like if I'd been a little bit more well-versed in dark romance before this, I think I would have rated them all 5 stars honestly, because it is really heavy. It's really heavy. So definitely check your trigger warnings, but I will never stop recommending this. Aww. It like makes me sad thinking about it. I like want to read it again. It's forbidden romance. It's also enemies to lovers / second chance romance. The FMC's best friend is the sister of the MMC. So in that way it's forbidden, and we also have like a dual timeline. So we're kind of jumping back to when they first met to now when they're enemies. And it's also dual POV. I love dual timeline. I love dual POV. I just like to be able to be in both of their heads and see both of their perspectives. God, I honestly can't even really give an overview of this, of like the plot, because there's so many things things, and I don't want to like give anything away. Basically, every character in here has a lot of trauma and a lot of crazy, sad, horrible things happening to them, but the love story is just so good. I mean, I think it's hyped up for a reason. Love this forever. Then I got to read Fury Bound. I actually got this sent to me early, right before it came out, by Sable Sorensen, which, first of all, that's insane. This was my most anticipated release of all of 2026. Diary Bound was one of my favorite books that I read last year, so I was so excited for this. This was nothing like I had expected it to be. It took a completely different direction than like what I expected in my head. I think it had a really different vibe from the first book. There was just a lot more action, and we also got dual POV in this book, which we only had one POV in the first book. So I loved that. If you haven't read Diary Bound yet, I think you should read it. And if you have read it and you haven't read Fury Bound yet, I think this is a great sequel. I rated this 5 stars. I also rated Diary Bound 5 stars. I don't really know which one I actually liked better now that I think back on it. They were two very different vibes. But if you like more action, you're gonna love this. Then I read Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. Bestie Allie actually got this for me because she had read it and she loved it, and she knew I was getting into dark romance. This would be a good book to start off with for dark romance. I honestly don't even know. I feel like you can consider this dark romance. It's more of like a rom-com with dark romance aspects to it, because like it's literally funny. Like with this, my jaw was on the floor, like I was horrified, and this was just like entertaining. The plot in this book is good, but what I loved most about it is just the characters and the banter between the FMC and the MMC. I think that's the main thing that most people like about this book, because I honestly really wasn't invested in what was happening with the plot. I just liked the interactions between the two main characters. The FMC is a trauma nurse, the MMC is a hacker, and she actually follows him on social media. He posts these like anonymous masked like thirst trap videos, and she follows him, but she doesn't realize who he is in real life, that she has like a real life connection to him and she's met him before. And basically he starts stalking her and they fall in love. So, also there's Cat in this, and I love the cat. The cat's funny. This book, I feel like I would honestly reread this again. It's just like fast, it's easy, it's entertaining, and it's a full standalone all-in-one. I would definitely recommend this, especially if you're new to dark romance, or even if you're not. It's kind of like a lighter, more fun version of a dark romance. So maybe it would be like a good palate cleanser. Oh, and I rated this 4 stars. There's nothing wrong with it. I just, for 5-star books, I feel like I have to be really connected to the characters, and I didn't feel like I was with this. But there was nothing about it that I just like didn't like. That was everything for April. Now moving into May, the first book I read was Haunting Adeline. This is one of those books that you just hear so much about, and I feel like people either hate it or they love it. And as I was starting to read this, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be one of the people that hates this. There were just some themes in here, which I hadn't read yet in a dark romance, and I don't think are my favorite. And honestly, majority of the time I was reading this, I was like, I'm not gonna read the second book. But by the end, I actually got really invested in the plot, and how it ended leaves me feeling like I have to read the second book. So I definitely think I'm going to. The main characters are Addie and Zaid. This is another stalker romance. This I feel like is like the stalker romance. It was kind of fun that there were like little murder mystery elements in this as well. And I thought that was gonna be like the main plot point throughout, but then it turned into something completely different and a lot bigger, and that's why I feel like I need to read book 2. I rated this 4 stars, and really it's just because the type of smut that's in this isn't my favorite thing ever. If you've read this, you probably know what I mean. So I would say definitely check the trigger warnings, but I would recommend it. I think it's a good book. Ooh, next I read Psychotic Obsession by Lee Rivers. This is actually like a prequel kind of to the Edge of Darkness series. The main character of Psychotic Obsession is Tobias, and Tobias is the dad of the main male character, Cade, in the Edge of Darkness trilogy. So he's in that series a lot, but this is like his book from when he was younger. So it takes place before the Edge of Darkness, and it kind of shows you why he is the way that he is. I loved Tobias in the Edge of Darkness trilogy, so I was really excited to read this. I didn't like this as much as any of the 3 books in the main trilogy. However, if you read that and you liked it, I would definitely recommend reading this one as well, because it's cool to get a little bit more background already knowing like what ends up happening. And I rated this 4 stars as well. After that, I took a little break in dark romance because Starside came out and everyone was talking about it. I honestly didn't plan on reading it right away. Really, the only reason is because it only came out in hardcover. And this is before I learned about Blackwell's, which is a UK bookseller. And in the UK, a lot of books come out in paperback when they're released. So now I know that I can just order from Blackwell's because they ship to the US for free. But before that, I saw a girl order the large print edition of Starside from Barnes & Noble, and that comes in a paperback, so I did that as well. I kind of liked the large print, honestly. I might do this again. Maybe I'll get the large print edition again for Stormside, the second book, so they like match. But I don't think this is overhyped at all. It was hyped a lot, and I think it's valid. When I was hearing about it, I'm like, okay, the magic system is unique because it's like the swords have magic, which I haven't heard of before in a different fantasy book, but But I'm like, okay, it's trials, it's enemies to lovers, like it's probably just gonna be pretty similar to other fantasies I've read. I really don't feel like it was. It did feel really unique, even though it had some of the same tropes as a lot of popular fantasy books, but it didn't feel repetitive. And I feel like romantasy especially can really feel like that. This is a slow burn, which I feel like after reading dark romance, which is usually never a slow burn, they kind of just get right to it. I think I was worried it was gonna feel like the romance was dragging, but it didn't, because there was so much tension the whole time. I really liked it. And I'm actually so excited for the second book. I'm pretty sure it comes out this year as well, I think. Oh, also, this is by Alex Astor, and I haven't read any other Alex Astor books. I think this is her debut adult, is it? Because I know before this she was primarily a YA author. I don't know if this is her first adult book. I might be making that up. But I really loved it, and I definitely would recommend it. I gave this 5 stars. This is right up there with Daggermouth and Half City for me, I think. I still think those are my top 2 reads of the year, but this is probably just right behind those. Okay, so then I jumped back into the dark romance and I read Little Stranger by Lee Rivers. Honestly, at this point, I just felt like Lee Rivers could do no wrong, so I just assumed I would love this as well. I unfortunately didn't, and I did already buy the second book. This, I just feel like I found where I kind of draw my line with this. And I think my line for dark romance is just after Haunting Adeline and just before Little Stranger. It was just too much for me. It was too much. If you love this, that's awesome. I don't think it's a bad book. I think just not for me. So when I finished this, I was like, there's no way I'm reading the second book. Like, I already bought it, but I'm not reading it. I don't want to. But then I learned that there's crossover between some of the characters from the Edge of Darkness trilogy in the second book. So now I'm like, well, now I have to read it. So I'm probably gonna. But I did end up rating this 3 stars. Again, not a bad book, just some of the themes in here, too much for me. Okay, getting into June. The first book I read was Nocticadia. I was so excited for this. I've heard so many good things about this for such a long time. And really all I needed to know was that it was dark academia and that it was forbidden romance. It's Professor Student. And I was all in. This was really, really good. I rated this 4.5 stars, and I definitely want to read more of Carrie Lake's books. I want to read Anathema. I think that series is called the Eating Woods trilogy. Is that correct? There's 2 books out, and I think the 3rd book comes out in the fall. So I think I'm gonna wait till that book is out so I can just like read them all together. But I really loved Carrie Lake's writing, and I feel like all of her books, I believe, have a similar vibe to this one, where it's a little bit dark and more like gothic kind of reminded me of like Rachel Gillig vibes, but a little more dark. Literally the only thing that kept me from giving this 5 stars, maybe now that I think about it, I'll give it like 4.75. The only reason it's not a 5 star for me is because it was a little bit, I don't want to say gory, because it's not gory, but the MMC is a professor, and he is what do you call it? He does like autopsies on bodies, and I just like don't like that stuff. Like, I'm not into like the dead body situation. And also they're like researching this like illness where like worms come out of like the dead person's mouth, like black worms, and it kind of like gives me the heebie-jeebies. So that was the only thing where it was like kind of like ugh. But that was literally the only thing. Like, everything else about it I was obsessed with. And I know this is a 5-star read for a lot of people, and again, it's an academy setting, so I just am obsessed with that for some reason. 100% would recommend this. I also really like the MMC in this. He's like dark, angry, brooding professor vibes, you know. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Okay, then I went into my first sports romance ever. I had been kind of thinking about getting into sports romance for a little bit, and when I thought of sports romance, I just automatically thought of the Windy City series, because that's what I feel like I hear most people talk about. So the first book is Mile High. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. Nothing was like wrong with it. Like, it was a good story, but I didn't feel like I couldn't put it down. I felt like I kind of had to force myself to keep picking it up just to like finish it. Although I do feel like I had some preconceived notions, or like an idea in my mind that like I just have to push through this first book, because I feel like I hear a lot of people say that Mile High is their least favorite of the series. So maybe that was partly why. But it was like entertaining. I just honestly, I haven't thought back about it since. I didn't feel super connected to the characters, but I do like how this is one of those series where each book is about a different couple, but they're all interconnected. I really like that. So I'm excited to read the other books. I'm definitely going to continue. I have the next 2 up there. Yeah, it was good, but I just wasn't obsessed. So then naturally, after the like wholesomeness of the ending of Mile High, I needed to get back into some psycho, depraved, crazy people. So I finally started the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent. Ever since I got into dark romance, I feel like all I've heard about is like, you have to read Rena Kent. I just feel like she's like the queen of dark romance, it seems like. So I was super excited, but also I feel like a little bit intimidating because her backlog is like kind of insane. She just has so many books and series, and I'm pretty sure they're all like kind of connected in a way. So it just kind of felt like a big undertaking. I think that's why I pushed this off for like a little bit, but I actually really liked this a lot. And I read these back to back. I rated both of of them 4.5 stars. I honestly couldn't tell which one I liked better, God of Malice or God of Pain, because I like different things about them for different reasons. Like, I liked the characters of God of Malice better. Well, not even the characters, not even really just the MMCs. I liked Killian better than I liked Creighton. I honestly don't know. I probably do like Annika a little bit better than Glyndon. They're kind of similar. Maybe I do like Annika a little more. But I thought the overall plot of God of Pain was just more interesting than God of Malice. So I still don't know which one I like better, because I definitely like Killian more than Creighton. I don't really dislike Creighton. I feel like Creighton, I see a lot of hate for him. I didn't hate him, but like I kind of get it. So yeah, these are kind of even to me. I am really excited for the next book because it's Cecily and Jeremy's book, and I really like both of them as side characters in these books, as well as God of Fury. Is God of Fury not? No, God of Ruin and then God of Fury? I don't know. I have the next 3 books, so I'm definitely going to continue, but I think I'm most excited to read God of Fury, which is Brandon and Nikolai's book, because I just hear that that's the best one. So I'm definitely planning on reading all of these, and I would say if you're a dark romance girl, honestly, I don't think this is as, I mean, this is definitely dark, but I would say it's not as horrifying as The Edge of Darkness. It's close though, probably. Edge of Darkness is just it's just something else, but I would recommend these for sure. And that is all of the books I read in Q2. I do kind of want to talk to you guys about what I have coming up that I'm planning on reading, just because I feel like I have a lot of really good things. Like, I have so many things that I want to read like right this second. I'm currently reading Binding 13. Is this considered contemporary romance? I don't feel like it's sports romance. Like, he plays rugby, but I feel like that's not like a big part of it. Well, it kind of is actually. I don't know. In my head, this is contemporary romance. I was a little scared of this because they're in like high school, and I was like, that kind of feels weird, but it's not. It's actually not weird. I'm not doing a review of this right now, but I am kind of almost done with this. I'll probably finish this today or tomorrow. And I can't decide if I want to go straight into Keeping 13, because In the Wake of the Ruin by Kaylee Cassidy comes out tomorrow. And that is the sequel to In the Veins of the Drowning. And that was one of my favorite books I read last year. So I'm going to go pick that up tomorrow, and we'll just see if I read that immediately after. I might. I guess it depends on how this ends, if I feel like I need to go straight into the second one. But I plan on reading the first 2 books in the Boys of Tommen series this month, as well as In the Wake of the Ruin. Also, as you can see up there, I just got Light Wielder, which is the sequel to Metal Singer, which I'm kind of nervous about. That was another one of my most anticipated releases, but I feel like I haven't heard the best things about it, so I'm sad because I was really excited for it. So now I feel like I'm kind of just like pushing it off, because I think I have in my head that it's not going to be that good, because I feel like the people I've seen that have read it are just kind of like a little disappointed by it. So I don't want to go into it expecting to be disappointed, because then I'm just going to be disappointed. So I'm kind of pushing that off right now. We'll see if I read that in July. Another thing I want to get into is I bought the Twisted series by Anna Huang, and I've heard so many good things about her books. So I definitely want to at least read the first book in that series in July, just so I can get into it. But I feel like I'm starting a lot of series right now. Like, we have Boys of Tommen, Windy City, Legacy of Gods, Twisted. Another book I'm really excited about reading soon is Nightshade and Daybreak by, I'm trying to look at it, Autumn Woods, I believe. It's over there on my bookshelf. I bought that book in the UK at Waterstones, and Daybreak, the sequel, comes out I think like the very end of July, like July 30th or something. So I am gonna wait until the second one comes out so I can read those back to back, but I'm really excited about that. So yeah, there's just so much to read, so little time. I feel like right now I'm like, I want to read so many things at once right now. But that's good, because I'm really excited about a lot of books right now. Also, can I just say I'm really loving this? Like, I've been like giggling, kicking my feet, but also feeling really sad. Like, I feel like I'm already getting really attached to these guys. Also, look, I spilled water on this and some of the pages are all wavy. But like, I already love Johnny and Shannon so much. I have to order the next 2 books from Blackwell soon. What are they saving 6 and redeeming? The 6 ones are next, right? Joey's books, Joey and Aoife. But it's been a great few months of reading. Let me know what your guys' favorite books of Q2 have been. Also, what are you excited to read next? Yeah, give me all the recommendations. Also, if you want to keep up just like with my day-to-day stuff, definitely follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post monthly reading wrap-ups on there, and also just like on my stories and stuff about what I'm reading. I do also post polls on my Instagram stories sometimes, having you guys vote on what I should read next. Although everyone voted for me to read The Right Move right now, but I started Binding 13 instead. I don't know, I was just really excited about it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.